Hello, welcome to Social Studies 11 with Coquitlam Open Learning. My name is Colin Cameron. I'll be your teacher for the course. I just wanted to, this is an orientation video, which is going to go through the expectations for the course, what you need to know, where you're going to be able to find everything. So I'm going to start off with the introductory email that you would have received from me. It would look something like this. So, yeah, so welcome to Social Studies 11. We'll say hello, your name, and then it's going to go through a few things. Now, this first step, it says Illuminate Session Online Orientation Meeting. I do them once in a while. If you want me to do them, I'm more than happy to. But I just found that a lot of students don't really have the time, or they can't fit it into their schedule, so on and so forth. So that's what this video is all about. So this video is this is taking the place of that Illuminate session that I used to do typically with students. Okay, so there's no need really to do, if you're watching this video and you answer the questions at the end of this video, there's no need to do the Illuminate session. So this is something you don't necessarily have to do. If you're watching this video, you're in good shape. Number 2, review the course syllabus found here, as well as the academic integrity policy found here. So the course syllabus is just, if you click on it, it's just from the Ministry of Education. Sorry, no, it's not from the Ministry of Education. It's just my outline of the course, outlining what the expectations are, what you're going to learn in the course, as well as a few other things. Right here is the academic integrity policy. It goes over what plagiarism is and what you need to do in order to understand what plagiarism is all about and how you want to avoid plagiarism. If you copy directly from websites, we'll find out the way we have our assignments submitted is they go through a scanner, they check, they compare it to, they do a Google check, so they'll find stuff on the internet. They also compare it to our own a database that we have as well with student work and whatnot. And if we find that you've been copying other students' work, then we'll probably ask you to come in, have a little chit chat with our vice principal to talk about your intentions and what you want to do with this online class, because it's not really something that we want. You're given a lot of freedom in taking an online class. We just ask that you respect and don't cheat, okay? So that's what those two things are. Familiarize yourself with socialstudies11.posters.com. So ss11.posters.com. That's what this website is right here. So this is my website. I'm going to go over that shortly. I'm just going to go back to the email, go through this real quick. Complete the individualized course learning plan. So I'm going to go through that shortly. NGRADE account. So what you'll do is you'll have a code here. It's going to have something to the extent of Co-Cameron dash a number dash another number for students and for parents. So for students, you can use that code in order to set up your own account, and parents, you can also set up your own account that will be tied directly to the students' grades. So as soon as I mark all of the assignments, what I do is I put the marks into NGRADE. From there, if you create your own account and use the code found here during the setup, what you're going to do is you're going to be able to access my mark book. From time to time, I will post when all my marking's done, and I'll show you where that is shortly. Number 6, and I'm going to show you where to find NGRADE shortly on the Posters website. The e-textbook setup code. E-textbook, the setup instructions are right here. If you click there, control click, it's going to take you to a video showing you how to set it up. So I'm not really going to spend a whole lot of time showing you how to set that up, because there's a video right there for you to do that. And lastly, you'll have a Blackboard access code right here. It's just a username and password that you're going to be able to use to access Blackboard. Blackboard is more or less where the course is housed with all the assignments and everything else. All right. So moving on to the Posters website. So this is my personal website for the course. So this is where I post what specific assignments. So Blackboard houses all the assignments, but I actually specify what assignments I want you to complete right here on this page. Okay, and I'll show you where that is. I'll go through this real quickly. Right here we have course syllabus. This just goes through what the course is. You'll see here. And this website provides nice little previews for you to scan through. So if you want to look at that, that's great. So that's the course syllabus. Next one is, the next link is Blackboard. Blackboard and WebCT are similar. WebCT is something that's being phased out, so older students are using that. If you're a newer student, then Blackboard is what you're being used. It's the exact same content, assignments, and all that, but it's just in a different format. Okay. So when you go to Blackboard, what it'll do is ask you for the username and password that you would have received back from this email right here, Blackboard Access. So you enter that in, it'll bring you here. I was already logged in, so that's why it went right to here. It'll list all the courses that you're currently taking, so I'm just going to click on Social Studies 11. So when I open it up, this is kind of the layout of the course. So you'll see here that all the modules are located right here. So module 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the first module has to do, that's the whole course broken up into 4 large parts. The first module has to do with politics and government with Canada. The second module has to do with history from 1914 to 45. So you're looking at World War I, World War II, the Depression. Then we look at module 3, which has to do with 1945 through to 2000. You've got the Korean War, the post-war era of World War II, the Cold War, and bringing us up to almost present day. And lastly, we have human geography. Okay, so if I go into one of these modules, what it looks like is this. So you'll have a module 1, section 1. So each of them are broken up again into these different sections. Now, just so you understand, you can use these little folder views in order to see a little bit more. You can use this thing to hide it back and forth. What else can I show you? Yeah. If you wanted different views, then you can just play around with that. I'm going to go to Module 1, Section 1, and what it has is this is set up in pages. So you just do a reading and then go to the next page. And then it's going to reference your e-textbook from time to time as well. So next page, go to the next one. All right. So it says sometimes it'll say open your Counterpoints textbook to page 299. That refers to your e-textbook. Okay. So you'll see here each of these things are the pages that we just went through. So if you see, I'll just go over the next page. It's going to bring you to a practice assignment. Where do you fall in the political spectrum? Now, understand that you're responsible for all the material for the module for the module tests. Okay, so there's 4 modules, so there's 4 tests on each of those modules. So 1 test per module. When we're going through and you're doing these practice assignments, they're fairly important to take notes on because usually they have some pretty good information that you need in order for tests. So it's important to go through all these pages, take notes, and just learn what you can from each. Okay. And then when we keep on going, we'll come across an assignment, and it'll say in this table of contents here what the assignment looks like. Also, you can minimize this, maximize it, and you put it in a different spot and all that. Okay. So it goes lesson A, lesson B, and then I'm going to look at this one here. And this one's 1.1 activation assignment. Compare federal parties. So this is going to be your first assignment. You're going to write your views about today's Canadian political parties. Choose 3 parties and describe their leader and major platforms. Summarize this with a paragraph describing your choice for leadership should you be voting today. Include reasons why. Note that nobody's not a reason, so on and so forth. So this is what we're looking for, a 5-paragraph paper totaling 600 to 700 words, okay? This is the marking rubric here, so you can open that up and have a look how I'm going to mark you. It leaves you a space in Blackboard to actually type it here. I don't really want you to type it in there. I'd rather use a word processor because then you get the benefit of spell check, grammar check, and all that. Just click here, browse my computer as if you're attaching an email, same type of thing. You browse, you find the document, attach it there, and then you are in good shape. And then once you've done that, click submit, and then the assignment's going to go to me. So that's kind of how that's all set up. All right. So if I go to Module 1, Politics and Government, and then I get down to the proper level here, it then brings me to this pages. Okay. So I just wanted to go through that really quickly, and then this pops up. And then you can navigate forward if you're working a little bit farther forward. Okay. One note, it says vocabulary journal. So the practice assignments are more for your practice. I'm not collecting them for marks. Vocab, I do collect notes as well as vocabulary on your own, just on whatever format you use. If you want to make cucumbers, if you want to make cue cards up and write all your notes on those, that's great. I don't mind you doing that. I'll give you credit for that. You'll just have to take a picture of it and email that picture to me of all your cue cards. If you like to write out notes, that's fine. If you like to type them out, that's fine too. Just send them off to me, and for each module I'm going to give you 10 marks for that, and that's for 10% of your mark. Okay, so be sure to do notes, because it's fairly important, because there's a provincial exam in this course, and there's a lot of content. So if you're not going to do notes, I think you're putting yourself at risk for not doing very well on that exam. Okay, so I showed you how Blackboard is laid out. I've shown you how to submit assignments, which is good. I also want to show you where to find your tests. So if you just go over here to assessments, so when you're asked to write a test, you'll go visit me at Monty Center if you want to, or you could also go talk to a teacher at your designated School District 43 school. If you're outside of School District 43, you'll have to get in touch with me. Just email me, and you'll have to set up alternate arrangements. But every school in Coquitlam, in the Tri-Cities, have a teacher that's responsible for looking after tests and whatnot. So what'll happen is you're going to email the teacher. You'll set up a time where you're going to meet the teacher. You'll meet them, and what you'll do is you'll open up Blackboard like you normally do, and then you'll come to this page, assessment, click on the test that you want to write, and then what's going to happen is the test is going to pop up, and then you'll write it. Now, you need a supervisor, because the supervisor actually has a password for you. So once you click begin, you actually can't start it until you have the password. That teacher in each school, that's the person that has that password. So it's not like you can just go in and start writing tests right now, today or tomorrow. No, you have to go to someone to supervise you and do the test. Okay, so they'll type it in, and then you'll be good to go. And that test will automatically be sent to me. So to find the teacher that's going to help you out to write that test, if you go to School Liaison Teacher here, click here. And this is just a list of all the schools with all the teachers where you're going to be able to find some help. So if you're at Charles Best, you can go talk to Mr. Moles. If you're at Glen Eagle, you could talk to Mr. Udell. Email right there. The counselors at Heritage Woods, Mr. Hasselhan over at Riverside, Sharon Star over at Pine Tree, so on and so forth. So you emailed each of those people, and they'll supervise your tests for you. So it's fairly flexible in that way, so it's pretty good. All right, so we went over Blackboard, and WebCT is similar. eText login. So if I click on the eText login, it brings me to this page. This is going to be your text. The first thing you're going to do is register with that code back from the intro email, which you would have found right here. So the registration, I'm not going to show you how to do it. It's in that other recording. So if you have any questions, just get in touch with me about that. Okay. Moving on to N-Grade. N-Grade or On-Grade. People call it different things. This is my mark book. So as soon as you click that, if you log in, you already have a username and password. If you sign up, just click on the sign up. You'll be creating a brand new account. This is going to give you access to my mark book, your grades. You'll be able to see what you are, how you're doing in the class 24/7. And from time to time, I will use this poster site just to notify you that, in fact, I have all my marking up to date, which is right over here. Maybe I don't have anything up there. Yeah, I don't. That's okay. But from time to time, I'll post, yes, all my marking is completed up to, say, January 3rd. Okay, so that's how nGrade works. Next thing is Elluminate. Elluminate, again, is something I used to use for an orientation. If you need me to go over something, go over test, this is a handy thing. I will click a link on my side. You can click a link on your side, and I'll be able to take over your computer screen so that I can show you stuff. If you want to go over a test, I can do it that way, where I show you everything that's on my screen. So yeah, and we're able to talk and all that. The talking is a little bit delayed. It's a little bit annoying, but if it's one-on-one, we could always just grab a phone, talk that way, or if there's a group, I can talk and you can instant message. So that's kind of how Elluminate works. School Liaison, I already talked about that. So getting started, I've already talked about all this stuff. You should all be subscribed to this Postgres. Every time, I'll talk about this actually, I haven't done that yet. Every time I post something here, it automatically fires it out to every one of my students, okay? So right here, there's a notice about the January provincial exam. Anyone writing to write the provincial exam needs to have the course complete by Friday the 20th. So I'll post it to this website and it fires it out. So anytime I have a big message that I want to get out to everybody in the class, I'm just going to post it here. So you can see it here, or you can see it on your own website. Yeah, just a bunch of random different things. Okay. So that's what this Postgres is. Individualized course learning plan. This is just to help you. This is an opportunity for you to tell me if you have any learning disabilities, if you're going to need any learning support for this course. If you do, fine, that's great. If you don't, that's okay too. Please send me that. It shouldn't take you more than a couple of minutes to complete. How do I set up nGrade? There's another one, eText setup. You can watch that yourself. WebCT navigation, also Blackboard navigation is very similar. Module test information. Each test is worth 35 marks. There's 17 multiple choice, 6 matching, and 1 essay worth 12 marks. So that's kind of the layout of the tests. How to write a module test. I already talked about it. I'm not going to go through it again. This is very important for grade 12 students. If you, that's hard to see. I'm going to have to change that. Important, you must complete at least 50% of your online course by March 1st to have the grades sent in the April-May PSI, so post-secondary institution. That's the thing they use in order to, you kind of need to send that form off in order to release your grades to universities and colleges to get acceptance. If you don't have 50% done in this class, it won't come up on your transcript as if you're even taking it. So it's a very important date. March 1st is a very, very, very important date in order to have a good portion of this class complete, because if you don't have 50% done, it will show up that you're not even taking it. If you do have 50% done, it will show up in your transcript. So that's just one thing about that. Next thing I want to talk about is course due dates. So right here it lists all of them. Now you'll notice it says spring, summer, fall, and winter entry. So we have 4 entry points for this course. You're given roughly about 10 months to complete the course, maybe a little bit shorter, maybe a little bit longer for each of you. But if you started the class in September, October, or November, you would be considered the fall entry group. Okay? So all the dates listed below are guidelines. You're more than welcome to complete assignments as quickly as you want. So if you want to burn through the course and get it done very, very quickly, you're more than welcome to. You're also, when assignments are past due, a mark of 0 is going to be entered as a mark. This course must be completed by the Module 4 deadline. I'm not available for help after mid-August. I'll address any concerns. Now, you'll see here Module 1 due November 30th. So the entire module, that's what I say, is due November 30th. So you'll go through the all the black highlighted assignments are things I collect. If it's not highlighted or it's not there, I'm not collecting it. You're still responsible to do it, know the information, the material for the tests, but it's not necessary that you you submit them. Okay. So I'm just going to do this real quickly. So Module 1, November 30th. If you look here, set an Elluminate session with Mr. Cameron. That's not necessary because, of course, you're listening to this video and you can answer some questions to take the place of that. Activation assignment, essay on Canadian federal parties, branches of government, cabinet, all these assignments highlighted in black. Module 1, set up your appointment with the DL support teacher, and then it's just like that. All right. Alright, the next part we have down here is the readings of vocab lists. So, this isn't really formatted all that great, but just bear with me. What happens here is that these titles correspond directly, Module 1, Section 1, the political spectrum, they relate directly back to Blackboard and the subheadings and the headers in that program. If you look here, it says WebCT is just bolded. Counterpoints is italicized with yellow highlighting. So that just means that the yellow highlighting has to do with the e-text, but the Counterpoints e-textbook. WebCT is the exact same as Blackboard. So those are readings that you're going to find in there. So if you're looking at what is an ideology, you go to Blackboard and look for that heading. Also, you go to Blackboard to find what is a political party. In yellow, political ideologies and parties, you look at those pages in the e-textbook. Okay, so, and these are all the vocabulary terms. So this is a good starting point for you to take your notes. So I mentioned that you get 10 marks for submitting notes. This is a great place. I have every term that you could possibly need to know for the course listed here and through all the other modules as well. And it's just kind of a resource for you to use. On here, this section and section 3 are the only places that you're going to find this readings package. The reading package simply means that they actually changed the textbook on us, and the new textbook didn't have some of the information that the old textbook had. So what we did was we just got some of that information and we put it together in a little package. So if you look there, look for those pages, the readings package can be found right here. And then you just use those page numbers, those corresponding page numbers to read the readings that you need to get information about. Okay? And these assignments here, 4.1, 2, and 3, there was several excuse me. There were several small assignments in the module, the fourth module. So what I did was just collect them all together, put all these smaller assignments together into kind of worksheets. So you can download them right there. It's just a little bit more convenient for you than having to go through all the smaller documents that were in Blackboard. So lastly, I just wanted to talk a little bit about this timeline and a few other resources that that would be useful for you to use. So yeah, here's the timeline a colleague of mine made. It's pretty useful for you, good to print out. If you print this thing out and tape it all together, what it is, it's every key event that happens in the course. It also includes the Prime Minister and what Prime Minister was involved in each era. And it's just a pretty good little visual that you can use for studying for your exam. Next thing you want to look at is practice and provincial exams. This brings you right to the ministry website, where you can do some practice exams. And it brings you to Social Studies 11, and then it gives you a few different exams that you can do. You can do e-exams or just paper ones. Okay. Next thing is exam prep package. This would be handy for you to look at. This glossary, provincial exam schedule, that brings you to the Ministry of Education as well, so you can look at the schedule to make sure that you have the right time. And then if you want to check out your results after, you just click here and then you go to your results. Okay. I think you'll need your PIN, or your pen, I mean, pen number. Some other resources that might be useful: Canadian Biography Dictionary, Atlas of Canada, Canadian Encyclopedia, Canadian Information Wikipedia, and a bunch of other things. Okay, so that's about it. That's about the end of the little orientation. Thank you very much for coming. Now I'm going to give you directions in that in the intro email. In order for you need to answer about, I think it's going to be 4 or 5 questions that you're going to have to answer, just about questions just that I brought up about that I may have mentioned in this orientation, as well as looking at a few things that might be in the textbook as well. So what I need you to do is to copy all the questions down in an email, answer underneath each question, and then I will reply back to you. And that will be our two-way communication. And you will also have, I believe it's going to be 2 weeks to complete the first module of assignments. It's not going to be the first module. It's going to be most of the first module, though. You need to really get started in this class. Becoming active in the class is very important. I haven't mentioned that before, but in online classes, we run a little bit differently than regular classes at your school, in that we don't get funding for you until we can prove that you're actually communicating with us. That's what part of this video and the question back and forth is going to be. And so the two-way communication is important, as well as we need to prove that you're actually doing coursework. So you need to complete, I think it's about 6 or 7 assignments. A lot of them are smaller, but you need to complete those assignments, and we need to show those to the government in order to prove that you're actually in our course. And then we can get some funding for you to pay for me, pay for the janitors, and pay for all this fancy technology. So please do that as soon as possible. So thank you very much, and if you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with me at cocameron.sd43, or sorry, at sd43.bc.ca. That's cocameron at sd43.bc.ca. Thank you very much.